I call attention, please. Now, Sri Derek O Brien to call the attention of the Minister.
Sir, firstly, sincere thanks to the Chair for two things.
Yes.
One is for prioritizing and last week putting the agrarian crisis discussion up first before having this calling attention on net neutrality.
My God, how it can be?
We really thank you and appreciate the Chairman's gesture.
It cannot be.
Sir, this internet, this net neutrality is a complicated sounding subject, but let me start by trying and simplifying it for those of us who are not so familiar with net neutrality. He called me, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr. Minister. Yeah, Minister.
And then he can.
No,
unless he
you have to raise the subject. Minister will now give the clarification. Yes, yeah.
Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, I am grateful to Honorable Member Derek O Brien for calling the attention of the House to a very important matter. I'll just read my statement and thereafter they will be raising their whole issues and contention and also their suggestions.
Copy.
Deputy Chairman, sir, let me begin by making a commitment and assurance to this Honorable House.
Copy not available with the Chair. 1 second.
I'll just wait for 2 minutes the copy. It is available in Hindi and English both.
Sabko de do. Okay.
Should I proceed, Honorable Chairman, sir?
Proceed.
Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, let me begin by making a commitment and assurance to this Honorable House and through the House the people of India. This government is committed to the fundamental principles and concept of net neutrality. That is, keep the internet accessible and available to all without discrimination. Within 100 days of assumption of office, the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, initiated the program of Digital India in a mission mode, designed to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. Digital India is designed to bridge the divide between digital haves and digital have-nots and reach digital connectivity to 1 billion citizens. Digital India has basically 3 components: creation of digital infrastructure as a utility for the citizens of India, digital delivery of services, and C, digital empowerment of citizens. Digital connectivity has emerged as a key driver of economic and social development in an increasingly knowledge-intensive global scenario in which India needs to play a leadership role. The program is designed to ensure that socio-economic scenario across India is transformed through accelerated, equitable and inclusive economic growth by laying a special emphasis on providing affordable and quality access to the broadband and internet in rural and remote areas. We are confident that sustained adoption of technology would offer viable options in overcoming developmental challenges in education, health, employment generation, financial inclusion and a host of other services designed to make life more meaningful. We recognize that digital technology can afford means for millions of our citizens to improve their economic lives. The world has changed so much in a short time. Countries across the world have moved from an emphasis on physical connectivity to economic connectivity and lately to digital connectivity. At the heart of digital connectivity is the public internet, which has connected near and far, poor and rich alike. Internet is a new technology. Its protocols were written not more than 40 years ago. The public internet, the World Wide Web, is only 23 years of age. In this short span of time, it has come to occupy the center of the world. This is made possible by the open, democratic structure of the public internet, equal and accessible to all those who are connected to the network. In India too, the new age economic growth is being fueled by internet. This government notes with confidence the growth of internet in India and wide platform it has offered for innovation, investment and creativity. In particular, the government complements the initiative and entrepreneurship of the young in making India a powerhouse in information technology and information technology enabled services. The studies by Indian Council for Research on International Economic Relations show that every 10% increase of internet subscribers lead to 1.08 increase in our GDP. A similar study by the World Bank showed that for every 10% increase in broadband leads to 1.3% growth in national GDP. While it has significant microeconomic contribution towards growth, productivity, employment, its empowering influence not only benefits large enterprise, but also startups, entrepreneurs, and individual citizens. The internet has also emerged as a destination for public discourse. In a free, democratic country, the internet has increasingly become an important platform of information, dissemination, and exchange of opinion and views. Just as India values its constitutional guarantee of freedom of speech and expression, it also values an internet that is open. Discourse on internet on a variety of issues has led to the empowerment of the common man. While reiterating this government's commitment, the core principle of net neutrality, we must recognize that there are nuances to the issue which needs deliberation to make it more meaningful. If this had not been so, the issue of net neutrality would not have become an issue of debate and litigation across the world, even in the Western world, where the internet occupies a much more central role in the nation's economy and society. I have had occasion to study the debate on net neutrality in the United States of America, from where internet originated. The Federal Communication Commission, the communication regulator in USA, declared a set of regulations for an open internet in 2010. These regulations were challenged in US courts by internet service providers and were struck down in January 2014. Thereafter, FCC came out with a consultation paper in May 2014 that asked for a response, amongst other questions, to a query as to whether paid prioritization that permits internet service providers to charge content providers to provide greater bandwidth for their end users should be followed. FCC was found by over 3 million mails in response to the consultation paper. The recent FCC rules announced in February 2015 have been decided by a regulator with a slim 3-2 majority and have promptly been challenged in a US federal court. As per media reports, the European Commission is meeting in early May to decide on whether over-the-top players who provide communication service over the internet should be regulated. The debate in India has also gathered over the suo motu consultation paper issued by the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, which asked for response to a number of questions concerning the regulation of OTT players. If the issue did not have nuances to it, why then would experts and regulators all over the world would be breaking their heads over it? It is therefore imperative that we not only preserve but also foster non-discriminatory internet ecosystem wherein telecom services providers, content and application providers, industries, entrepreneurs, and above all, the citizens of the country have a stake. Government stands for ensuring non-discriminatory access to internet for all the citizens of the country, and current debate on net neutrality should be seen from this perspective while resolving the issue harmoniously and consistent with constitutional and economic principles. What is net neutrality? Professor Tim Wu, who coined the word net neutrality, stated that network neutrality is best defined as a network design principle. The idea is that a maximally useful public information network aspires to treat all content, sites and platforms equally. This allows the network to carry every form of information and support every kind of application. Net neutrality thus refers to non-discrimination of data packets by intermediate networks of internet on the basis of content, application, service, device, sender or recipient addresses. Generally, it places the requirement on telecom service providers to treat all internet traffic on an equal basis. Net neutrality has many dimensions impacting economic, regulatory and public policy aspects. Government agrees with the viewpoint that blocking and deliberate slowing down is speeding up of a lawful content on internet should not be allowed, and customers should have unrestricted access to all lawful content on internet. There would be instances such as traffic management, national security, integrity of the network, investment infrastructure, etc., where the implication of net neutrality would need detailed expert examination. This is what governments and regulators all over the world are grappling with. I am informed that very few countries have opted for a specific legislation for enforcement of net neutrality provisions. In its recently released report 2014 Web Index, Web Foundation have found in a study across 86 countries that 74% of countries lack clear and effective net neutrality rules or show evidence of price discrimination. On the basis of measures undertaken to enforce net neutrality, nations can be broadly divided in 3 categories. Number 1, countries with no specific measures undertaken as existing mechanism is often considered sufficient to address the issue. Examples: Australia, Republic of Korea, New Zealand. 2. Countries with light-handed regulatory measures, that is transparency, lowering switching barriers, minimum quality of services undertaken in these countries. Example: European Commission, Japan, United Kingdom, etc. 3. Countries with specific legislative measures being undertaken in these countries to enforce no blocking, no discrimination in treatment of traffic. But most of these provisions are not absolute, but subject to reasonable network management and other exemptions. Example: Brazil, Chile, Netherlands, USA, etc. As per the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI makes recommendations to government on regulating various aspects of telecom sector through a transparent, open public consultation process. TRAI has issued a suo motu consultation paper, regulatory framework for over-the-top services on 27/3/2015. While TRAI has the power to regulate traffic and quality of service, its regulations are subject to overall policy, public policy of the government. On other issues, TRAI can make recommendations and final decision rests with the government. Even on tariff and quality of service regulations, these have to be in accordance with and consistent with the public policy, and the government has sufficient power under the TRAI Act to invoke its national policy objectives to give direction to TRAI. The government has also separately constituted a committee with a mandate to recommend overall policy and technical responses to net neutrality. The committee has already held stakeholder consultations with over-the-top players, telecom service providers, internet service providers, civil society members, consumer groups, multi-stakeholder advisory group of the Department of Electronics and Information Technology, and various association industry bodies. The committee is expected to submit its report recommendation by this month end. The government will then make a structured view on the way forward. I assure this House the key principles of net neutrality will be followed while addressing concerns with a national outlook. Sir, this is my very comprehensive statement on an issue of great importance. I thank you, Mr. O Brien, Honourable Member, for initiating it. Sir, let me conclude by saying just two quick things. Internet is one of the finest creations of human mind. It must belong to the mankind, not to few. The first thing I have to say.
Very clear.
The second point, I salute the young people of India for the manner in which they have brought India on the international stage by the huge spread of internet. Sir, I'm happy to inform the House that in India we have got 97.5 crore mobile phones in India. And we have got 30 crore internet connections in India. And our aim is, very soon in 2 years' time, we will have 50 crore, that means 500 million internet connections in India. And very soon, we will have 1 billion mobile phones in India in a population of 1.25. This spread of information is truly extraordinary. And internet to become global must have a linkage with the local, in culture, in content and ideas. That's a larger view. It should be without discrimination. But what I am keenly looking forward in this August House is to have their ideas, their suggestions, so that we can take a structured view. And sir, I want to assure the House very clearly and categorically that whatever be the consultation paper, the decision will be taken by the government, by the cabinet, consistent with the aspiration and hope of the people of India. That's all I have to say.
Very clear. So, Mr. Derek O'Brien, now see, the total time allotted is 1 hour. I have 16 additional names for clarification. So Derek will take 5 minutes. Others will take 2 minutes each for clarification. Everybody 2 minutes. No new name will come. Whatever is here.
Sir,
if your name is there, I will. Yes. He has already said he is neutral. Then, okay. Derek, please. Time. Derek.
Sir,
Derek, please.
The Minister, I thank him for sharing the optimism which we've always had. I want to make a few specific points on this note, and then I've got some specific queries. It's a 4-page note, sir. The first 2 pages, with all the enthusiasm shared by the Minister, sounded like a Wikipedia entry on the internet. If you key in the words internet, or if you key in the words digital India, all very nice, all very highfalutin, all very poetical. But today's discussion, I want to keep on the facts. So I'm not going to comment on the first 2 pages, but that doesn't matter. I think let's get to the meat of the matter. The meat of the matter first is let us try and explain to people who don't know this. They think this internet is one complicated thing from outer space. What is the issue? The issue is, it's like electricity. What is the debate today? Electricity is being supplied to your home, you're paying 1500 rupees. Now the electricity supplier is telling you, as suggested, is that if you use your fridge and your microwave, and if it's Samsung, you have to pay a little more. If you use your fan and your tube light, you'll pay a little less. If you're using a washing machine, which is of a particular brand, you'll have to pay a little less. This is the basic concept as explained to the layman. I wish the government in the last 2 months had taken some trouble or just stay in this jargon of net neutrality. And they've continued with the jargon through this statement. My specific questions, specific. 1, TRI. TRI was constituted a consultation paper on March the 27th. The tone of the consultation paper, if anyone has read it in this house, it sounds like a consultation paper dictated by a telecom major. Now, I don't want to guess which telecom major, but it sounded like that. Number 2, the consultation paper of TRI is blatantly in favor not of the consumer. You've given us the thing about the youth of the country, etc., but it's not in favor of the youth or the internet user, it's in favor of TRI. It's in favor of telecom. The last one, what woke you up? BJP are very good in the trolls, you know, vote for this, do for that, but this time it's the net which woke you up. Because there was a hashtag running there called Net Neutrality. Emails were sent, and this is the danger. Emails were sent to TRI. How many emails? 10 lakh emails, 1 million emails. Now that's a small number you may say because there are so many people in the country. 1 lakh emails. The whole internet was very, very angry. Your youth, etc. So much so, I won't reveal the gentleman's name, but a senior BJP leader told me, we created this Twitter and social media army, very good, but now we can't control the social media army. So it's come back like the Australian boomerang. Now what happened was very dangerous, sir, and this is a cause of serious concern, beyond even net neutrality. And I say this with all responsibility. Those 10 lakh people, young people, executives, people working, professionals, their 10 lakh emails were leaked. They were put up on the TRI website for 1.5 days. My specific question to the minister, why have you compromised the privacy of these 10 lakh individuals? It's a very serious issue. By putting it up for 36 hours and then quietly putting it down, sir, this is a very dangerous trend because you're going to target these people after this. And I've got 3 questions to you, sir, specific questions. One of, I think you've answered. You have said, I've asked you, what is the government stand on net neutrality? On page 3, you have written 3 bold lines there. If I take that as the answer, that would be acceptable if this is your stand. Make it clear, sir, on the floor of the House. Number 2, which is the larger question. Is the government considering amending the IT Act? If yes, yes. If no, why not? Whether the government is considering regulating the internet in a good way, because like electricity, are you considering internet being for public good? And I've got 3 suggestions, sir, very quickly. We need to create rules, but I'm sure you will agree, we also agree we need to create rules. Do you intend to make the internet into a license Raj? My last 2, sir. You've said you've listened to all the stakeholders. I'm happy that the chairman brought this subject up. And I'm even happier he brought this up before agrarian crisis came before this. Otherwise, we tend to get carried away and we think net neutrality is the end of the world. No, agrarian crisis is 100 times more important than net neutrality. So on this, sir, on this freedom of speech debate, you have said it in your reply. I'll accept it in the spirit. Talk to everybody, sir. You've got a strong message on the users of the social media. Those are the people you talk to. And, sir, the last point, sir, will the minister give an assurance to Parliament that no action will be taken, try or otherwise, without taking Parliament into confidence?
Okay, thank you,
sir.
Thank you very much. Sri D. Raja? No? Dr. Ashok Ganguly? 2 minutes only. Put the question in 2 minutes.
I just want to compliment the Minister for the statement he has made. But do not underestimate the US has resolved to dominate this area, specifically after the leakages of the slowdown. It will have access to global net, and the privacy and secrecy of our defense services, our private citizen is going to be challenged. How are you going to avoid that? The European Union's battle against Google right now is of great relevance to India, because what it is forcing Google to do is to become net neutral. And that must be followed very closely. There is a hidden agenda of the service providers. It is like the water suppliers, Honorable Minister, who say that when we supply you water, we will make a distinction between the price of water used for, say, drinking or used in the toilet. It's a very serious issue. We have to simplify it to this level, because the ability of the service providers is beyond our comprehension. The TRAI must make its intention clear, and once Honorable Minister is clear about what is going to be done, I repeat what Mr. Derek O'Brien has said, kindly bring it back to the floor of this House, because the net is going to be the principal instrument for fighting poverty, for maintaining privacy. And when those 1 billion people have the net in their hands, they must have the freedom as Indian citizens, not subservient to any service provider or international innovators. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Srimati Kanimozhi. Only 2 minutes, put the question, that's all.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So the internet is going to redefine our future and create a wide array of economic opportunities for the younger generation. We must take care and make sure that these opportunities are for everyone and not for a select few. That is why it is important that the principle of net neutrality is developed and held by our government. So I like to give an example which I read on the internet when this issue had come up, and such an interesting thing can only be said by youngsters on the net. When this problem came up, they described it as going into Disneyland, paying an entrance fee, and going into the Disneyland and paying separate fees for every ride. And all the rides which are actually more sought after, you pay for it, and there are a few free rides also. So this is how beautifully they are able to express themselves in the net. And we should take care that nothing stops this, nothing changes this. And we've always been wondering whether the younger generation is concerned about social issues, concerned about issues which affect them, affect us as a country. And when this issue came up, we can clearly see how the younger generation, specifically of this country, came together and fought against this, as a whole. And social media sites have been buzzing with activity to save the net, and this activism is very important, and it has to, it's been a first step, and it has to spread to other issues also. So I like to just have a few clarifications, and I thank the Minister for his statement here, and he's reiterated many times in his statement that net neutrality, they will make sure that there is net neutrality.
Now put your question.
Yes. What are the steps being taken to address the concerns raised by small websites that they would not be able to compete with the powerful websites who are joining hands with the internet service providers? Sir, and in his statement, the DMK Treasurer, Mr. Stalin, has declared that the internet should become a civic right like others. Does the government have any proposal to make internet a civic right which can be addressed by one and all?
Okay.
And according to media reports, TRI was supposed to hold discussions with multi-shareholder advisory group on this topic. What are the outcomes of this discussion?
Okay.
And the government should make sure that all its websites, they are, but the government websites and government portals should be free online, and this will show that the government is serious about e-governance.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sri Ritabrata Banerjee. Now, put your question in 2 minutes. Eh?
Yeah. Sir, I am a last bencher. We get very few opportunities. I just crave your indulgence. Maybe half a minute more. Not more than that.
No, only 2 minutes for everybody.
Sir, we strongly criticize the so-called consultation document actually published by the TRI, a document that supports the interests of telecom companies and internet monopolies against the people. And we also support this ongoing struggle for net neutrality. Now the internet, there is a continuous demand that it must be declared as a public utility, because internet, this is a source of knowledge, means of communication, and this is a vehicle for all forms of media. Now interestingly, a number of telecom companies such as Airtel and Reliance, along with some internet companies, are offering special packages. They bundle only a few websites and applications with their services, pretending that this limited internet is the whole internet. This is a dangerous thing, because such cartels between the telecom companies and a few global internet monopolies will lead to further concentration of economic power in the internet. Now, my specific question is, these telecom companies are continuously arguing that they need more money to build infrastructure and meet the demand of the new internet-based services. Hence, they claim they need to violate net neutrality. What the telecom companies do not disclose, that the revenues from the data services they are earning, there is 100% in 2004. Every quarter this is leaping up. This Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, these are fueling the revenues. And what the telecom companies are asking therefore is to be paid twice. We the users will pay once, and they will also want the internet companies to pay them more money. So I will urge upon the government that this thing needs to be looked upon. And one point I just want to make, that today incidentally is 5th of May, 197 years ago on this very day, Karl Marx was born. World's greatest philosopher had once pointed out that the ideas of the ruling class in every epoch are the ruling ideas. Not only this, the class which has at its disposal the means of material production also in turns control the means of mental production. Today this ongoing struggle for net neutrality is proving this once again. I will urge upon the government once again, particularly this point of these telecom companies, point of they want to be paid twice, that needs to be looked upon. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you are very clever. You brought Marx also in the discussion. Okay, thank you. Sri Vivek Gupta. Put your question 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have already raised the 0 hour of this last week, and I just do not want to repeat whatever has been said. But sir, as India is growing, more villages are getting electricity, more. So there is a situation happening that there are a lot of places where single operators are only there providing net. And sir, if these people are allowed to exploit, that will become a very, very difficult and a dangerous situation. Sir, also I would like to know from the Honorable Minister through you, sir, the government itself is an interested party because these telecom operators share a part of their revenue with the government. So it is in the government on the, how does the government plan to balance this one potential of increased revenue coming through non-net neutrality and protecting the freedom of expression? Sir, my second question to you, to the Honorable Minister is, how will a level playing field be provided to small business and startup businesses who use the internet and e-commerce to further their growth and to try and compete with the big giants of the world? Sir, Facebook and some other companies have in fact made voluntary gestures for going for net neutrality. Sir, if the biggies don't want it, sir, I fail to understand why the TRI is over enthusiastic in first disclosing all 10 lakh email and putting all these people at risk and siding with these operators. Sir, I want inquiry through you to go behind who is behind this concept in India, who is trying to instigate it, because the government says they don't want it, the consumers don't want it, the internet biggies, the Facebooks of the, they don't want it. Sir, who wants it? I just want an answer from you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, Sri Tarun Vijay.
नेट न्यूट्रलिटी का इशू उठा रहे हैं और कहते हैं कि 30 करोड़ लोग भारत में इसका इस्तेमाल करते हैं, उनको ये बात समझनी चाहिए कि नेट न्यूट्रलिटी जैसा भारी भरकम शब्द न इस्तेमाल करके सीधे सीधे इसे इंटरनेट की आजादी से जोड़ा जाए। एक अगर आजादी की लड़ाई थी, संविधान की लड़ाई थी, उसी तरह से इंटरनेट भी हमारी अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता की आजादी की लड़ाई है और आम आदमी उससे वैसा ही जुड़ा है जैसे गांधी के नमक सत्याग्रह से जुड़ा था। यह मजाक, यह हल्कापन छोड़ दीजिए और अंग्रेजी के बजाय जो भारतीय भाषाओं में बड़ी संख्या में, करोड़ों की संख्या में नेट का इस्तेमाल करने वाले लोग हैं, उनको वापस आप टेलीकॉम की गुलामी में मत झोंकिए। एक आजादी हुई थी हमारी अंग्रेजों से और दूसरी गुलामी, इससे हमें बचना है जो टेलीकॉम की गुलामी है। और इसलिए मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि सरकार ये सुनिश्चित करे कि ईमेलिंग को वह ब्लैकमेलिंग में तब्दील ना होने दे। आज हम ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में जाते हैं, आज लैंड का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जमीन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, पानी का सर्वे करते हैं, बच्चों की शिक्षा करते हैं, और हिंदुस्तान का कोई ऐसा क्षेत्र नहीं है जहां इंटरनेट के बिना काम होता हो। उसको शिकंजे में कसना, वापस सामान्य जन के सिविल राइट्स को एक गुलामी के उसमें लेना। और ये जो टेलीकॉम कंपनियां हैं, ये शाइलॉक हैं, ये लोग शार्क्स हैं, और अपने फेल्योर के लिए ये जनता को पनिश करना चाहते हैं। इनकी वैल्यू एडेड जो फ्रॉड होता है, बिना सब्सक्राइब किए जो हमको हर महीने बिल देते हैं, वोडाफोन कंपनी ने अभी मेरे बिल से 10,000 रुपए काटे, कम किए। 2 साल से वे ले रहे थे कि मैं ब्लैकबेरी यूज कर रहा हूं और उसका किराया ले रहे थे जो मैंने देखा नहीं। झूठा, जालसाजी भरा और एक स्कैंडलस वो ओवर बिलिंग करते हैं और उसके बाद कहते हैं कि हमको घाटा हो रहा है। सर, मैं केवल सरकार से जानना चाहता हूं,
प्रश्न पूछिए।
रविशंकर जी, आप ये मत कहिए कि दुनिया के 86 देशों में 74 में कोई क्लियर और इफेक्टिव नेट न्यूट्रलिटी बिल नहीं है। अरे नहीं है तो नहीं है। लेट इंडिया लीड द वर्ल्ड in making a legislation for ensuring net neutrality. I will urge the government to introduce a internet bill of civil rights.
Okay.
और ताकि net neutrality में civil rights हमारे यहाँ पे मजबूत हो सके, और ये बहुत जरूरी है। दूसरे देशों की ओर हम ना देखें। ये गांधी का दूसरा नमक सत्याग्रह है और सरकार इसका समर्थन करे।
श्री प्रोफेसर एम राजीव गौड़ा, put the question 2 minutes में. In 2 minutes, put the question.
Sure, sir. Sir, in February, a 69-year-old farmer from North Karnataka participated in a pre-budget discussion with our Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. He suggested to the CM that crop insurance claims could be settled promptly without corruption if the government made use of Google Earth to map the coordinates of the land and used WhatsApp to transmit pictures of the crop damage. That is just part of the wisdom coming from an earthy old man talking about the potential of internet and its transformational potential, sir. So, if we want to make use of this transformational potential, we have to create a net neutrality we have to ensure net neutrality, sir. So I have had the chance to participate in using technology before the internet was born. I have seen how private networks have fallen aside and open networks have flourished, and crowdsourcing has been possible, how mainstream media, which is in the hands of the corporate sector, has been bypassed by free, open social media, which has even ushered in revolutions like the Arab Spring. So, net neutrality will ensure that newer apps and technologies will emerge that will help, in the words of Star Trek, people to boldly go where no man has ever gone before. We should not find any way to slow down this extraordinary unleashing of the power of human ingenuity. So, telecom providers have been licensed to carry traffic. It does not matter whether that traffic is a film or a song or a voice message or even a digital data. Essentially, they are being paid for that platform access. And they should not slow down these bits and bytes through subtle methods of slowing down or discriminatory access. Only then can we, India, achieve its demographic dividend, sir, if we create a net neutral platform that will allow online education, mobile commerce, all kinds of other innovations to flourish going forward, sir. So my question to the minister, while I'm happy with his commitment to net neutrality, what about the independence of TRAI if he is saying that the regulatory authority does not matter or every decision is going to be overruled by the ministry on the grounds of public policy?
He didn't say like that.
That is the implication of his statement. Please, sir, pay attention to the exact details of what he said. He said, whatever TRAI says, we will do it on the basis of public policy. It's our responsibility. I want the independence of regulatory authorities also to be maintained.
Question,
How will the minister ensure that?
Thank you very much. Sri Rajeev Chandrasekhar. Rajeev Chandrasekhar,
sir. Thank you,
put
sir.
your question in 2 minutes.
Sir, I thank the minister for his statement, sir. I echo what Derek said, sir, that net neutrality is not a very complex or philosophical statement. It is at its heart a very simple but vital issue of protecting consumer interest and protecting them from telecom companies that want to be gatekeepers of the internet. Sir, to him, the simple message from the netizens is this, that the internet must remain accessible, fair and open, and the consumers will oppose any move by telecom access providers to carve up the internet into islands based on commercial contracts in an attempt to what I refer to as cableization of the internet. Sir, I have 4 questions for the minister, sir. He referred to this 74% of the countries not having legislation. I would point out to him, sir, that the legislation today vis-a-vis consumer rights and interests in telecom are very, very weak. So please do not use that as an example to not legislate net neutrality. We must get legislation for net neutrality, and please assure us that there will be explicit legislation and rules for the same. Second, sir, is the important issue of the conduct of the TRAI. I have repeatedly raised in this House the need to review the independent regulator. What is the minister going to do in the face of this terrible behavior and conduct of the TRAI in this consultation? Will he do a comprehensive review of the TRAI Act, specifically about sections in the Act that deal with consumer protection and consumer interest? So third, the TRAI chairman has raised this issue that there is a corporate rivalry that has led to this issue of net neutrality debate. It is a deliberate distraction from the fact. I must request the minister to direct the TRAI to disclose any evidence that they have on corporate rivalry that has led to this net neutrality discussion. It is the right of parliament to know, and it is the right of people to know, especially when people are trying to distract away from a real important debate. Sir, fourth, I want the minister to assure the House that consumers cannot, will not, should not, and cannot be, again I'm saying cannot, guarantors of the business plan of telcos, nor is it the government's job to protect these companies from technological disruptions that are the new normal in the sector, sir. I expect 4 assurances from the minister, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Sri Ananda Bhaskar Rapolu, put your question in 2 minutes.
माननीय उपसभापति महोदय, विश्वव्याप्त वार्तालाप माध्यम के ऊपर उसकी आपत्तियों के ऊपर ये सदन की ध्यान आकर्षण करने के लिए, सावधान आकर्षण करने के लिए ये प्रस्ताव के तरफ मंत्री जी का जो समाधान था वो अर्ध सत्य है. And the last week in the other house of the parliament, when my leader took up the cause of the net neutrality, the hopes of the Indian netizens have raised. Honored sir, net neutrality is a gentleman agreement. Net neutrality is World Web norm. Net neutrality is a level playing field. At the same time, net neutrality is yet to attain the global legality. That is why the complications are growing. The world websites, the websites are the hidden treasures. The riches and the resources on the platforms of the Google, Twitter, Facebook and all other social media has creating envy and also enlarging the complications. At this, the internet service providers' role has changed. By 2013, among the world net population, India attained the 3rd largest position. And now we are leading and guiding. But with this net neutrality and the coming complications of the decade, it throws us a challenge on the usage of spectrum. Not only the usage of spectrum, but also the undersea cables.
Now,
by
your question.
6 years,
Put your question.
there will be pressure on
Rapolu,
the
put your question.
cables, internet cables.
No,
Yes,
your time is
I am
getting
coming
lost.
to that.
Put your question.
On the internet cables, the pressure is going to grow and internet is going to collapse. What are the union government measures in that direction to enable the safe internet, which has become the principal utilization platform for the delivery of administration and the development and the welfare? And at the same time, your answer has again given us tension that try, your intentions are dubious. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Sri A.U. Singh there.
Thank you very much,
Yes,
sir.
within 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. I'm completely here with Mr. O Brien and Chandrasekhar ji and what they have said. See, the concept of neutral publicly accessible information and transfer of that information has been around since the days of Alexander Graham Bell. Basic public infrastructure such as subways, buses, telephones, companies, etc. are not allowed to discriminate, restrict or differentiate common access. And this is the core concept behind net neutrality as well. In countries such as the United States, this has been a topic of much contention, and telecom companies have attempted to regulate free internet usage, but they failed to due to massive public response against it. Now breach of net neutrality is illegal in the States, in the United States of America. The vested interest of telecos is pushing the government to consider breaching the principle of net neutrality. That is the free and fair, non-discriminatory usage of internet. Such should we not have the freedom to decide what websites to access and the speeds at which to access them at standard cost without telecom companies imposing upon us. Why should an ASL or a Vodafone be able to choose whether I use Google or Bing or any other search engine? Why should I be forced to make a choice between using or Skype or Viber? So my understanding of net neutrality tells me that if the change in regulation goes through, telcos would tie up with certain applications in exchange for a price and provide free access only to those applications, whereas in the event that I want to use certain other apps, I would have to pay a separate price for it. Sir, my question here is to the Honourable Minister, sir, that net neutrality is central to the Prime Minister's vision of Digital India. The Honourable Prime Minister has envisaged a Digital India, and that thought, that vision has been lauded not just in our country but all over the globe. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who visited India last year, not only complimented such a move, but also spoke about how he plans to get millions of Indians online. I would like to ask the PM, how can this be possible when the free usage of internet is under threat and the conditions are raised by questions by Sri Chandrasekhar ji and Sri Ritabrata?
Okay, thank you. Sri Devi Verma, 2 minutes में क्वेश्चन पूछिए.
सर, नेट का इस्तेमाल पूरे हिंदुस्तान में है और नगरीय और गरीब क्षेत्रों में, ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में भी बराबर बढ़ रहा है. सर, जब जो सरकारी ऑपरेटर हैं उसके माध्यम से ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में सर्विसेज अवेलेबल हैं, लेकिन आज मजबूरी ये हो गई है कि नेट की सर्विसेज और जो वैल्यू एडेड जो सर्विसेज हैं उसके लिए ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में भी लोगों को बीएसएनएल के अलावा दूसरे ऑपरेटर्स के सिम लीकेज का काम करने पड़ रहे हैं, अलग कई एक मोबाइल रखने पड़ रहे हैं. मुझे लगता है कि ट्राई की जानकारी में सब कुछ है, लेकिन आज सवाल ट्राई के ऊपर है कि जब ट्राई इस बात को जानती है कि हिंदुस्तानियों को इस तरीके से ठगा जा रहा है, तो ट्राई करती क्या रही आज की तारीख तक? और ट्राई देख तो सरकार को रही है, लेकिन ऑपरेट हो रही है प्राइवेट ऑपरेटर्स के द्वारा, कहीं ना कहीं से उनके इंटरेस्ट डिफेंड कर रही. तो मैं माननीय मंत्री से सवाल करना चाहता हूं कि ट्राई का जो ये बिहेवियर है उसको कैसे रेगुलेट करेंगे और जो नुकसान ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में लोगों का हुआ है उसे कैसे कॉम्पेंसेट करेंगे? थैंक यू.
Thank you very much. Sri Shantaram Naik. Thank you, Verma, for being
Honorable
specific.
Minister has said in his
2 minutes.
statement at page 3 that government stands for ensuring non-discriminatory access to internet for all citizens of the country, and current debate on net neutrality should be seen from this perspective while resolving the issues harmoniously and consistent with constitutional and economic principles. You have used very high language and broad principle. I hope you can stick to this in future when time comes. You have also further said government agrees with the viewpoint that blocking and deliberate slowing down, speeding up of lawful content on internet should not be allowed. I think you will in the course of time be able to define the lawful content, because ultimately a lot of controversies have arisen because of these wordings. So kindly see. And my questions to you, specific questions are, will you enact a legislation on net neutrality? Because many countries so far have opted not to have any legislation. What is the rationale of those countries who have opted not to have a law in the matter? Have you contacted any of these countries or governments to know their mind on this subject?
Thank you, Mr. Naik. Thank you. Sri Anil Desai, put the question in less than 2 minutes.
Potential of internet and its usefulness has been stressed by every speaker who spoke on this very important subject. I'm of the same opinion that net neutrality has to be there. If it is not there, it will mean internet service providers will be able to charge companies like YouTube or Netflix as they consume more bandwidth, and eventually the load of extra sum will be pushed to the consumers. Similarly, ISPs can then create slow as well as fast internet lines, which will mean websites cannot be accessed at the same speed at one can do so only on paying additional sum. For instance, you have a standard data package as of now and access all the content at the same speed irrespective of whether it is an international website or Desai. Similarly, ISPs can, internet service providers can also charge extra for the free calls you make using services like WhatsApp, Skype and others, and eventually the load of additional payable sum by the over-the-top players will be pushed onto the consumers. Net neutrality is extremely important for small business owners, startups and entrepreneurs who can simply launch their businesses online, advertise the products and sell them openly without any discrimination. So I would like to ask the Minister that by bringing in the legislation on net neutrality, what time it would be coming to the House, or what time the legislation would be brought to the House, so that anxieties of all netizens would be put to rest.
Thank you very much. Shri Narendra Kumar Kashyap.
सर,
क्वेश्चन
माननीय मंत्री जी ने नेट के बारे में, नेट के विकास के बारे में जो बातें रखी हैं, सदन और देश दोनों आपके साथ सहमत हैं, और हम इस बात को भी महसूस करते हैं कि इसके विस्तार और सुधार की और भी कुछ आवश्यकताएं हैं। मैं केवल दो बातें माननीय मंत्री से जानना चाहता हूं कि इंटरनेट के यूज के लिए बेहतर नेटवर्क की जरूरत पड़ती है, और हमारा देश चाहे ग्रामीण अंचल में बसता हो या शहरी अंचल में बसता हो, माननीय मंत्री जी आपकी जानकारी में यह चीज होनी चाहिए कि हमारे देश में बीएसएनएल, एमटीएनएल गवर्नमेंट की संस्थाओं का वो नेटवर्क है जो देश में प्रॉपरली अभी तक उपलब्ध नहीं हो पा रहा। मैं पूरे देश की बात भी ना करूं, एक सांसद होने के नाते अगर मैं अपनी बात आपसे कहूं तो आपको जान के हैरत होगा कि जो मोबाइल जनहित के प्रयोग के लिए हमको उपलब्ध कराए गए, गाजियाबाद में मेरा आवास है राजनगर सेक्टर 23 में, मेरे मकान पर कभी भी मेरे मोबाइल का प्रयोग नहीं हो सकता, और प्रयोग इसलिए नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि वहां पे आपका नेटवर्क ही नहीं है, वहां पे सिग्नल होता ही नहीं है। हम इंटरनेट के विकास की बात कर रहे हैं, 80 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोग मोबाइल यूज कर रहे हैं, तमाम चीजें हैं, लेकिन सरकार की प्राथमिकता में यह भी आना चाहिए कि अगर इंटरनेट का प्रयोग तो तब हम कर पाएंगे जब हमारे पास अच्छा नेटवर्क होगा। तो क्या माननीय मंत्री जी बीएसएनएल, एमटीएनएल नेटवर्क को हर जगह उपलब्ध कराने का कोई प्लान, कोई रूपरेखा सदन में स्पष्ट करेंगे मान्यवर? और दूसरी बात के बाद समाप्त कर दूंगा, अभी 1 मिनट हुई है। दूसरा, आज फेसबुक और व्हाट्सएप पर, इंटरनेट पर जो कुछ हो रहा है वो भी देश और दुनिया जान पा रही है। यह बात सही है कि युवा भी, उद्योगपति भी, पॉलिटिशियंस भी, आम आदमी भी, किसान भी, सबको इंटरनेट का, फेसबुक का, व्हाट्सएप का लाभ मिल रहा है, मिलना चाहिए, इससे भी हम लोग सहमत हैं। लेकिन कभी कभी इसके अपवाद पर भी चिंता करनी चाहिए मंत्री जी। आज फेसबुक पे, आज व्हाट्सएप पे, आज इंटरनेट पे लेडीज की, जेंट्स की नंगी फोटो, गालियां, अपशब्द, बुरे संदेश बड़े पैमाने पर चलते हैं। हम अभी भी आपको मोबाइल में दिखा सकते हैं। तो ये जो एक बीमारी भारत की संस्कृति को समाप्त करने की शुरू हो गई है, भारत की सत्ता को बिगाड़ने के लिए शुरू हो गई है, तो क्या नेटवर्क इंटरनेट के जरिए, फेसबुक के जरिए, या जो भी और चीजें इस तरह से देश में आ रही हैं, क्या माननीय मंत्री जी ऐसा कोई ठोस कानून बनाएंगे कि जिस कानून के जरिए कम से कम इंटरनेट पर, फेसबुक पर या व्हाट्सएप पर ये गंदे संदेश और संस्कृति को मिटाने वाली चीजें उपलब्ध ना हो? कृपया दोनों बातों पर आपका ध्यान दिलाना चाहता हूं। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद श्री नवनीत कृष्णन।
Sir, thank you, Honorable Amma. I thank Honorable Minister for Communication and Information Technology, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji. The entire world become a global village only because of internet. I humbly submit, net neutrality is a fundamental right under Article 21 of our Constitution, that is right to life, and also a fundamental right under Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution, that is right to expression. So without net neutrality, our life become meaningless. Therefore, ADMK, headed by Honorable Amma, firmly supports the concept of net neutrality and is against any attempt by corporate interest to restrict the internet. The central government should take a firm stand and continue to safeguard the interest of net users by maintaining absolute net neutrality. My question is, while the government is firm to maintain the net neutrality, how the corporates are proposing to charge extra for use of WhatsApp, Skype and Viber, etc. and other applications. So the government, the central government must be very firm in its stand, and the corporate should not be allowed to exploit the poor netizens of India. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sri KTS Tulsi. Sri KTS Tulsi.
Thank you, sir. All that I want to focus on is that legislative measures will have to be adopted for protection of the integrity of data and also for ensuring privacy, because if privacy is compromised, like the instance which Mr. Derek O'Brien gave, where the identity of 10 lakh people who sent the emails was compromised, if that kind of a thing continues to happen, one can dread to think, because most of the crime these days is linked to internet, misuse of internet. But to whatever extent we can, through legislative process, at least protect the privacy and integrity of data, that's going to be most critical for the growth of this sector. And I think since India is an IT superpower, therefore we must take the lead in evolving a proper legislation to regulate the rights of the consumers.
66A is a Supreme Court has already rejected.
That's 66A.
Ah, that is gone. Already now, Sri D. Raja.
Thank you, sir. Protecting net neutrality is the responsibility of the government. Failure to do so would mean allowing the corporate censorship. Corporate ISPs should not have control over what websites will be available to the consumers. And corporate ISPs should not be allowed to differentiate in terms of speed for different websites. Sir, various nations across the world have over the last few months brought in legislations to protect net neutrality. Now it is essential for our government also to wake up to the necessity to protect freedom of choice for consumers, number one, and to ensure level playing field for all web companies. Sir, I ask the government whether government will evolve a comprehensive policy, a stated policy on net neutrality. Whether the government will ban certain corporate companies which are against the spirit of neutrality. If not, why? If not, why? Government should answer. Sir, nations like Germany have laws promoting open source softwares in education, government departments and defense. This will not only save millions of foreign exchange, but also critical for defense of the nation. What is the thinking of the government? Sir, finally, I am not quoting Karl Marx, but definitely I quote Dr. Ambedkar. When you talk of consistent with constitutional and economic principles, it is Dr. Ambedkar who said in the Constitution, state should ensure all means of production to the common good of the society.
Okay.
Whether you will ensure that.
Sri VP Singh better not put the question, that's all.
A very small specific question. It's the responsibility of the TRI to have net neutrality and the independence of the net. Now, if that is there, I am surprised why the TRI itself has been, there's an air of skepticism from the TRI itself, and they are saying that it is because not us, but because of the rivalry and the competition of the corporates that this has cropped in. I want to ask the minister, that is that not their responsibility? They should have cleared the air, and why has it cropped up?
Thank you. Now, Honorable Minister.
Sir, I am very grateful for a very eloquent, thought-provoking exchange of ideas, starting with my esteemed colleague, Honorable Member Derek O Brien, ending with Raja, another senior Honorable colleague, and VP Singh. I thank all
Don't
the
put Raja at the last.
Huh?
Raja should be at the first.
Sir, I thank all the members. I don't want to take their long names because, but one thing has surprised me, sir. हर विषय पर माननीय त्यागी जी के विचार ऊर्जावान सुनने को मिलते हैं और इतने महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर उनकी खामोशी ने मुझे बहुत हैरत में डाला है। चलिए आगे कभी फिर उनके विचार को सुनने का अवसर हमें मिलेगा, ऐसा हमें लगता है। Sir, a lot of debate range around the concept of net neutrality. I don't think we need to debate that at all. It is very clear. My idea being conveyed through the internet must go in an unhindered manner. Very simply, I need not pay more about it, and the companies should not charge more about it. That's a very simple idea what net neutrality is about. But what is a matter of great assurance for me today, Honorable Deputy Chairman, that today the entire House spoke in one voice. And the quality of debate shows the entire depth of our House. Sir, this expression I have used in some other context, I want to use it here also. What is the hallmark of our House, Rajya Sabha? Substance without flamboyance.
No doubt.
And that I saw it here in abundance. Especially today. All the members rose to great heights in the larger cause of net neutrality. और सर मैं बहुत विनम्रता से माननीय तरुण विजय जी को आश्वस्त करना चाहूंगा, नेट की आजादी के लिए कोई संघर्ष करने की जरूरत नहीं है, नमक सत्याग्रह की तरह। जब तक हमारी सरकार है और ये सदन का साथ है, तब तक नेट की आजादी रहेगी, ये मैं आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं। इसके लिए जरा भी कोई, और मेरा वक्तव्य भी बहुत स्पष्ट था उसके बारे में। अब आपको तो बोलने का अवसर था, आपने बोला नहीं, तो आप शांत रहिए। Sir, I am very happy to see the kind words used by my good friend Mr. O Brien, Derek O Brien, about me today, though it came with a lot of caveats. No problem. Sir, I want to assure this House that Digital India is not a program of the government of India. Digital India is a program which we owe to the future generations of India, to bridge the divide between digital haves and digital have-nots. It is a program where Bengal government and government of India, UP government and government of India have to work together. And my idea, sir, sometime a debate will come, I'll answer this whole, I would like to have a debate on Digital India at one point in time. My idea of Digital India is that a mason, a carpenter, an electrician, other lowly paid people, using their smartphone in quest of their jobs and getting empowered. That work has started in India today. Therefore, this is something we owe to the people of India. And connectivity is an important part of that. And this connectivity should become available. माननीय कश्यप जी, कभी BSNL पर चर्चा होगी, आपने कहा गाजियाबाद के बारे में बताया, मैं उसको देखूंगा. मुझे जरा मैं अपने एक मिनट, उसने बात कही, मैं विस्तार से चर्चा करूंगा. BSNL में पिछले 10 साल में क्या क्या कमजोरी आई है. मैं इतना ही कह सकता हूं, देश में 25,000 नए टावर लग रहे हैं, BSNL लगा रही है. स्वयं MTNL दिल्ली और मुंबई में 800-600 टावर लगा रही है, और सुधारने की गुंजाइश है. आपने राजनगर की बात कही है, उसकी मैं चिंता करूंगा, वहां क्यों समस्या है. But sir, the larger concept we need to understand. Net today is the age of information. Information is power. And as I said, is my statement, a country more well connected gets reflection in the growth rate of the people of the country and also the country itself. Therefore, that larger concept is very clear. We have not the slightest doubt. But instead of referring to each member, let me go issue-wise the questions which have been raised. First is the question of TRI. Now, I want to assure Mr. Gowda that TRI Act came in 1997. Who was in power in 1997? I will not go into it. But Section 25 is available in the TRI Act right from the day one. On a question of policy, the government can give directions. And that is a very right decision taken by the lawmakers then. A lot of concerns have been expressed about TRI. I will deal with that separately. But suppose a hypothetical situation, Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, a particular TRI formation try to take a policy decision which is not in tune with country's needs and country's future. The government must have the right to give direction as a matter of policy to intervene. By doing that, we are not compromising the independence of TRI. We are fulfilling our obligation to the people of India. That's what I would like to say. So the second question arose. So many mails being made public. Mr. O Brien also mentioned about that. Sir, in terms of the architecture as it is in the TRI Act, they have to make all their consultation papers public so that responses can come. I quite see the point. The privacy issue, the email number ought to have been safeguarded is a question to be considered. I take note of that. In my own way, I will try to convey. Honorable Rajeev Chandrasekhar ji, a very knowledgeable man in this field, has raised a larger issue of a public statement by TRI chairman that this is a rivalry between a newspaper group and a telecom group. Well, normally I don't make comments, sir, but today I would like to make a comment. And I say with profound respect to the people who occupy the post of regulator. Regulators must speak their mind through their recommendations, to their report, not by public comments. Public comments certainly should be avoided. Now, a specific query has been asked of me by Mr. Honorable Rajeev Chandrasekhar ji. In my own way, I will ask my officers to convey this concern that if a public comment has been made, whether there was any evidence for that or not. Thirdly, I don't know, some of the members asked me, is the TRI going to be reconsidered again? The TRI Act. Well, the consultation paper is on. If certain more issues are required to be addressed, we'll certainly take into account in that. So this is as far as TRI is concerned. And I want to assure this House that we don't intend to interfere or infringe upon the independence of TRI. But as a government, accountable to this House, and through this House to the people of India. Whatever is required to be done to safeguard the interest of the people of India, the government will always exercise that power. And that power is available to us under Section 25 of the Act, I would like to assure. It is not a power, new power. So, second issue was raised, are you going to come with any law about it? A lot of things was talked about, Mr. O Brien, Mr. Tulsi, Mr. Shantaram Naik, my friend Mr. VP Singh. Yes, you also. You rose it to the great height of Article 21. Yes. Sir, today, sir, I must tell you, I have been deeply given the pearls of wisdom as to what dimensions internet right can be raised to, including as a part of right of life. I hope the people outside who are trying to limit this right must be hearing these great matters of concern. Sir, whether we need to have a law or not, that is the question of consideration. Let the TRI come with its recommendations. I want to convey to Arun Brian, I was not sleeping.
I just yield for 10 seconds, sir. 10 seconds. I don't want to interrupt you because you're on your flow. Sir, this issue of releasing 10 lakh email IDs goes much beyond TRI or anything else. It's a question of everybody's privacy, sir. Those names have been leaked.
Now, I think I already explained, Honorable Mr. Derek O'Brien, that when the law requires the TRI to make the consultation paper public, they were following a legal course. Whether they could have infringed completely the identity, the names, the emails of the members is a matter of concern. I've already shared with you. Now, sir, do we need some kind of a legal architecture? Is a question that was asked. Sir, what is the norm? The norm is the TRI gives a recommendation. It comes to my department, the Ministry of Telecom Commission, where the Telecom Commission, where we have eminent members, Finance Secretary, Telecom Secretary, other secretaries, they sit and decide. Then it comes to me and finally to the Cabinet, where a final decision shall be taken. Therefore, regardless of whatever TRI does, the final decision is that going to be of the government and government alone. And the government's commitment is reflected in the statement which I have said, namely, the government stands for a non-discriminatory access of internet to the entire people of India. Sir, but much before the TRI suo motu consultation started, way back in January itself, when the whole controversy arose, I had constituted a committee of my own department officers, very senior officers, many of them are present also here, to have a very elaborate consultation process and give me a report on a variety of issues. So that apart from TRI's recommendations, the government has the benefit of a parallel report as well. This was a precaution I took. For that, not only one report, because net neutrality is an important question bearing upon independence of India, creativity of India, innovation of India. Therefore, the government must have two reports so that to take a proper decision in structured manner. They are going to give a decision, recommendations by this month end itself, sir. That will also be there, sir. Now, do we need a legal architecture? Is a question asked by a lot of members. Sir, once the report comes, the report may say that the present architecture is enough. The report may indicate what are the benefits of net neutrality. They may say what are the technical architecture we need. The report may say what are the further regulatory measures we need. Therefore, allow that process to be completed. We have, let me very offhand say, sir, with my legal experience, sir, we have got a proper licensing conditions when we give to any license to any telecom service operator. Terms and conditions are mentioned in the license itself. Suppose, it is purely hypothetical, I am not giving my final view. Suppose the government comes with a structured guideline laying down the principles of net neutrality. It can make that guideline as a part of licensing condition itself. It is only a hypothetical proposition which I am saying. But all these options are open. When the government is committed, sir, and when through this very eloquent and I must say encouraging discussions of this House, the entire approach is going on, I think they will surely consider that the government, the people of India and the Parliament are speaking in one voice. How I see the larger spectrum which I made my initial comments. In my initial comments, sir, I had made certain comments about how internet has grown in India, how mobile phones have grown in India. And when I am saying that, sir, let me say one thing, sir. This great growth of IT sector, this great growth of IT-enabled services, this extraordinary phenomena of mobile explosion in India has happened without the government, in many cases in spite of the government. I don't want to go beyond that. But the people of India have an extraordinary appetite to accept technology. And sir, for me, sir, the defining moment is When I go to the airport, I see an elderly lady, not very literate, using her mobile phone to show her PIN number for her air ticket, sir. This is how they are. Today, 40% of Indian Railways tickets are e-tickets, sir. The world is changing. No one can reverse this process. When I see sir, and I must tell you, sir, I have been following these products myself, not in a very substantial manner. But after becoming the IT Minister of India, Communication Minister of India, the kind of new horizons, the kind of self-confidence, the kind of innovative spirit which is coming to India. And today, while speaking in this august house, sir, I want to inform this house. So many young entrepreneurs, 30 years, 28 years, are coming from Silicon Valley to Bangalore, to Delhi, to make a mark in India, so that India become a digitally more powerful society. If that is the future awaiting us, sir, surely it will come with the premise of a non-discriminatory internet regime. That is the fundamental issue we all need to understand, sir. I want to assure this house, sir, that their spirit, their concerns have been properly noted. Net neutrality is party neutral. Net neutrality is ideology neutral. And I'm sure Derek O Brien and Ravi Shankar Prasad, regardless of the political divide, are standing on the same pages. And we don't mind taking Mr. Raja also with some Marxian polishing and embellishment there, is still talking about net neutrality. So I'm deeply grateful for the very insightful debate, sir, and we will continue to march forward. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. No. It's very clear. No need of any more clarification. Honorable Minister is very clear. Very clear on net neutrality. What is the net? No. No. I'm not allowing. Announcement by the chair. No, you are not given name, sit down. No. Because your name is taken, you can't say one sentence. Because your name, yes. Because your name is taken.
दोस्त हैं, मेरे भाई हैं, उन्हें सरकास्टिक तरीके से मेरा जिक्र किया है। न्यूट्रलिटी पे मैं ना बोलना हूं, उनको आश्चर्य हुआ है। इसलिए सर ये मेरा प्रोटेस्ट है। जब तक जरूर न्यूट्रल है, इसलिए बोला। सर जब तक ये कॉर्पोरेट में एग्रीकल्चर के बीच में न्यूट्रल नहीं होंगे, मैं इस पर नहीं बोलूंगा।
Okay, that's good.